1 year ago, I bought the Nikon D700. During this time, I snapped pictures in Cali, Maine, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. With all that shooting, I was surprised to find several advantages to this clunky old camera. But even with that said, there were definitely downsides. It's heavier than desired and has a dated low megapixel sensor that doesn't always hold up. So why don't I upgrade to something else? Something newer? Well, the D700 holds 3 key factors that make me continue picking it up day to day. But we'll talk about that in a second. If you scroll on YouTube for a short period of time, you'll find that this 2008 DSLR is beloved for its physical features and its extremely soft images. In starting my photography journey, I found the D700 to be perfect for my beginner experience. But just after a month, I feel as though I learned that this could go a lot farther than I first intended. In this video, I want to share to you why this is my favorite camera, and I want to try to convince you to spend a year with the D700. When I first got this camera, I was coming off of mirrorless, and I always had an itch for film. So I wanted to try to find a place where these two worlds merge, and the D700 was perfect for this. The unlimited shots from digital allowed me to scratch my itch from mirrorless, while the physical buttons and scroll wheels allowed me to connect to my camera the same with film as the advanced lever. And being able to use this camera running gun style with one hand due to the power button being on the right side made it even more fun for travel. It was definitely an interesting camera to choose, but it was great for travel. And yes, some of these skills are transferable to other Nikon bodies, but the D700 is what I got to first, so that's why I'm giving it a point. And I learned that these same factors were even more important when it came to portrait photography. You have those unlimited exposures, so you never have to worry about switching film and disconnecting there. And then you also don't have to hop into menus and do any menu digging because there's so many buttons on the outside. You can control everything just at the touch of the scroll wheel or a few button hits. And as a beginner, all the buttons with all their icons to explain what they are were even more helpful. So it was just perfect for this moment. Earlier, I hinted to limitations, the same limitations that I've been talking about through several videos. But after the first few months, honestly, they all seem to wash away. The constant use of one camera makes you stronger, and I feel as though all my photos began to show this. Even though the D700 is heavier than desired, I came to accept it. I realized that it's one of the things necessary for me to get my favorite factor out of a DSLR, which is the viewfinder. The connection that the viewfinder allows me to have with my photo is uncomparable. It's actually what you see. It's not a digital projection plastered onto your viewfinder. But for what you're gaining in clarity, you might be losing in resolution when it comes to this particular camera. And I do understand that the low megapixels might be a problem for someone switching to a DSLR or just from a different, newer camera. But I think the lack of resolution taught me the importance of choosing the right subject. It made me much more intentional, and it gave me a challenge overall, teaching me that contrast and many other things create a perfect image, not just seeing everything in f11 and above. And that 12 megapixel sensor I became far more grateful for when I sat down in front of Lightroom when it was time to edit. The D700 over the year didn't just feel like a camera. Honestly, it felt somewhat like a teammate, and it was perfect here. But like I said before, a camera can either be your best friend or your worst enemy when you go into post-processing. Of course, this is mainly speaking to too much resolution. And with the D700, you won't have to worry about this at all. I'm very new to photo editing, so I'm happy that the D700 could give me some form of reassurance that if I mess up an exposure, there's enough range to bring it back. And then for portraits, I don't have to edit out every single pore or every single detail that I didn't want there anyways, while also keeping landscape photo editing fun as well. I think that with this camera, I can see myself using it in future projects based off of the ease, based off of the trust that I have with it, and so many other factors. I just really enjoy doing photo projects with this particular camera. If you're interested in the experience that I described, I have 3 tips to help you with your new camera: composition, f-stop, and lighting. Now, you might be saying none of these tips have anything to do with this camera, but I think that's my point. My point is the D700 does a great job with assisting you in every other area so that you can focus on actually taking a proper image. This camera wants to find the best kit for you. It wants to find unique photos that you enjoy taking. And I think these are the 3 lessons that I personally learned from the Nikon D700, and I absolutely love it for it. This is my first year with the Nikon D700. I don't feel like I took enough pictures, but it's on me to make that change. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and I want to keep the conversation going.